Welcome to your financial blueprint, distributing income for maximum wealth. In this video, we will walk through a practical, step-by-step hierarchy for allocating your income to build long-term wealth. We will start with your foundation, then move into retirement accounts, and finally optimize your monthly distribution formula. Along the way, we will include diagrams, examples, and a quiz to reinforce your understanding. Let's begin by previewing what's coming up. Here is today's agenda. First, we will explain why starting early is the ultimate advantage. Next, we will secure your financial foundation with an efficient checking buffer and a robust emergency fund. Then, we will prioritize retirement investing, including how to approach employer matches and Roth IRA contributions. After that, we will apply the 50-30-20th rule and optimize it for your goals. We will also visualize the strategy with multiple diagrams. Then, we will translate everything into a concrete action plan, followed by a couple of quick quizzes. Finally, we will recap the key points and conclude with next steps. Let's move to why timing is everything. Starting early is the single greatest financial advantage you possess. Compounding returns grow more powerful with time, making early contributions disproportionately valuable compared to larger contributions made later. Even modest, consistent investments can grow substantially across decades. With that motivation in mind, let's transition to Phase 1 and secure your foundation so your plan is resilient. Phase 1 is all about resilience. First, keep just enough in your checking account to pay your monthly bills, plus a small safety margin. Overfunding checking keeps money idle and reduces your growth potential. Next, establish an emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Aim for 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. If you already have $10,000 saved, verify whether that amount covers a full 6 months of your core expenses and adjust accordingly. This cushion protects you from unexpected events and prevents you from interrupting your investment plan. Now that your base is stable, we can begin channeling contributions into retirement accounts with confidence. This flowchart visualizes a disciplined money flow. Income first covers your checking buffer and bills. If an employer 401k match exists, capture the minimum to receive the full match immediately, because it is essentially free compensation. Then, direct funds to build or top up your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account until you reach 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. After that foundation is solid, prioritize maxing your Roth IRA via automated monthly contributions, such as approximately $583 per month to hit $7,000 annually. Once tax-advantaged accounts are optimized, invest additional funds in a taxable brokerage using low-cost index funds. If you carry any high-interest debt, allocate extra toward principal reduction. Finally, consider lifestyle upgrades. The diagram emphasizes not overfunding checking, automating contributions, and reviewing the plan quarterly. With the hierarchy established, let's go deeper into the retirement imperative. Phase 2 focuses on retirement accounts. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute enough to capture the full match immediately, as it represents a guaranteed return on your contributions. Next, prioritize funding a Roth IRA. Because Roth IRA contributions use after-tax dollars, qualified withdrawals in retirement are tax-free, including the growth. The current contribution limit is $7,000 annually, which translates to approximately $583 monthly. You can open a Roth IRA at a reputable brokerage such as Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Within the account, favor low-cost index funds that broadly track the market. To stay consistent, automate your transfers and schedule them for the day after each payday. Now let's compare two popular retirement vehicles to clarify their distinct advantages. Here is a side-by-side comparison. A traditional 401k uses pre-tax contributions, lowering taxable income today. Many plans offer an employer match, which significantly accelerates savings, and contribution limits are higher compared to IRAs. However, investment choices can be limited by the plan's menu. A Roth IRA uses after-tax contributions. Withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. It offers broad provider and investment flexibility, though income limits may apply for direct contributions. In practice, many investors capture the 401k match first and then fund their Roth IRA. With the retirement landscape clarified, we will now transition to a simple distribution formula for your monthly budget. Phase 3 is where structure meets habit. Begin with the 50-30-20 rule. Allocate 50% of income to essential needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt reduction. Treat the 20% as mandatory, prioritizing retirement accounts, broad market investing, and paying down high-interest balances. As your situation improves, optimize by nudging your savings rate higher. A critical insight is that once your emergency fund is fully stocked, you should avoid accumulating excessive idle cash because inflation steadily erodes purchasing power. Redirect surplus into higher growth investments, such as low-cost index funds. As a practical benchmark, target a total savings and investment rate of 15 to 20% of your gross income. To reinforce this visually, let's look at a pie chart of the 50-30-20 allocation. This pie chart represents a straightforward baseline. Half of income goes to essential needs, 30% to discretionary wants, and 20% to savings and debt reduction. The key takeaway is that the savings slice is non-negotiable and should be dedicated to retirement accounts, investing in low-cost index funds, and accelerating high-interest debt repayment. With the allocation visible, let's translate the method into concrete actions you can take this week. Here is your step-by-step playbook. First, calculate essential expenses to determine your exact emergency fund target. Second, trim your checking account to roughly 1 month of bills plus a small margin. Third, if you have a 401k with an employer match, contribute enough to capture the full match immediately. Fourth, open a Roth IRA at a reputable brokerage. Fifth, set up an automatic transfer of approximately $583 per month to reach $7,000 annually. Sixth, select low-cost index funds that provide broad exposure, such as a total U.S. market and an international fund. Seventh, once your emergency fund is solid, direct any additional cash into investments to avoid inflation drag. Eighth, review your portfolio annually, rebalance as needed, and increase contributions as your income rises. Ninth, track your 50-30-20 allocation monthly and adjust to improve efficiency. To underscore why starting now matters so much, let's look at a timeline. This timeline contrasts two investors. The early starter begins at age 22, with modest monthly contributions, and gains an entire extra decade of compounding by age 32. The late starter, beginning at 32, often needs to contribute substantially more each month to reach similar outcomes, effectively playing catch-up. The chart reiterates that time in the market typically outweighs attempts to time the market, and that automating contributions is one of the most reliable mechanisms for consistency. With the strategy and timing clarified, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: after covering essentials and a small checking buffer, what is the next priority in this blueprint? Options: A. Fund the 401k match while building the emergency fund to 3 to 6 months. B. Overfund checking to feel safer. C. Spend more on wants first. D. Skip the emergency fund entirely and go all in on taxable investing. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is A. Capture the employer match as soon as possible for immediate value, while simultaneously ensuring your emergency fund reaches 3 to 6 months of essentials. Once the emergency fund is secure, prioritize maxing your Roth IRA. Now let's reinforce your numbers knowledge with a second quick question. Question: if the annual Roth IRA limit is $7,000, approximately how much should you automate monthly to max it out? Options: A. $350. B. $500. C. $583. D. $700. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is C. Dividing $7,000 by 12 months yields approximately $583 per month. Automating this transfer greatly increases your likelihood of consistently reaching the annual maximum. Next, let's see how a sample monthly budget can reflect this distribution. This sample monthly budget illustrates the 50-30-20 framework for a $3,000 post-tax income. Needs take $1,500 for essentials such as rent, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Wants consume $900 for discretionary expenses. $583 go to the Roth IRA to reach $7,000 annually. The remaining $17 can be added to topping up the emergency fund or invested in a taxable account. If you have a 401k with an employer match, remember to adjust your pre-tax contributions accordingly before this post-tax budgeting framework. With the numbers in place, let's crystallize the main lessons. Here are the key takeaways. Start early to benefit from compounding. Keep your checking account lean and maintain a 3 to 6 month emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Capture an employer 401k match immediately if it is available. If eligible, work toward maxing your Roth IRA, contributing approximately $583 per month. Use low-cost index funds and automate contributions for consistency. Apply the 50-30-20 rule as a baseline, targeting a 15 to 20% savings and investment rate on your gross income. Finally, avoid holding excess idle cash once your emergency fund is complete, and direct surplus into productive investments to outpace inflation. Before we wrap up, please review the following important disclaimer. Please note this important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, tax, or legal advice. All investments carry risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Contribution limits, tax rules, and program eligibility can change, so verify current regulations and your plan specifics. For tailored guidance, consider working with a qualified fiduciary advisor. With that covered, let's summarize and close with your next steps. To wrap up, secure your base with a lean checking buffer and a fully stocked emergency fund. If available, capture your employer 401k match immediately. Automate approximately $583 per month to your Roth IRA to reach the $7,000 annual goal. Use low-cost index funds, rebalance annually, and raise contributions as your income grows. Apply the 50-30-20 framework, aiming for a 15 to 20% savings and investment rate on your gross income. Finally, avoid holding excess cash after your emergency fund is complete, and redirect it into productive investments. To conclude, here is a quick thank you and a call to action. Thank you for watching. If this blueprint helped, please like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more smart money strategies. In the comments, share your current allocation strategy, the steps you plan to take this week, and any questions you want covered next. Your feedback helps shape future videos. See you in the next one.